All right, guys, welcome back to another video. So we got the next announcement for Xbox Game Pass games. And one of the things we talked about yesterday was, will we be seeing Activision Blizzard games in this first announcement? I said I wouldn't be surprised if we did, and I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't. And it looks like we did not get any Activision Blizzard games. And there's actually an update about what's going to be happening with that coming to Game Pass from a podcast that Phil Spencer was on. But first, let's talk about these Xbox Game Pass games because this is another phenomenal announcement. Been a phenomenal couple of months here for Xbox Game Pass and overall just a great 2023. But here are the games that we are going to be able to play going through to the end of October. First of all, available today is Like a Dragon Ishin on cloud, console, and PC. And this was a game that was announced coming over to Game Pass at the Tokyo Game Show. So super cool to see that in there. F1 Manager 2023 is coming October 19th for cloud, console, and PC. City Skylines, City Skylines 2, which is a day one Xbox Game Pass game coming to PC on October 24th. A lot of people will be excited to be playing this one. So it's great to see there. And just another big day one drop into the service. Here is one that I think a lot of people didn't see coming. And this is another huge game coming into Game Pass. That is Dead Space, the remake that we got earlier this year, which was a phenomenal game in terms of the reviews and from people who did go through and play this game. They did a great job of bringing it back. I've played the original. I haven't played the remake, and I'm very excited to finally jump in here and play the remake. This is coming to cloud, PC, and the Xbox Series X and S on October 26th. You have Frog Detective, the entire mystery coming to cloud and console on October 26th. Not too sure too much about what this game is, but obviously it's a detective style game. They say here, play as the detective in 3 silly mysteries. Finding clues and questioning suspects is just a part of the job for such an experienced frog. So you're a frog detective, just as the name says. Then we have Mineco's Night Market, which is coming to cloud, console, and PC on October 26th. And again, another one, haven't really heard too much about this game before, but it is a mystery game, an adventure game, that type of stuff that you're going to go through and just trying to figure out what is going on. You have Headbangers Rhythm Royale, a rhythm game coming day one to Xbox Game Pass on cloud, console, and PC on October 31st. And they say here that Headbangers puts you and 29 others into the eye of the pigeon while you battle it out in rhythmic challenges to find out who is the ultimate master headbanger. I mean, rhythm games can be a ton of fun, especially if you really get into it, trying to master the different music or the different rhythms that you're trying to progress through the game with. So I may actually end up checking this one out just to see what it is all about with headbanging, which is kind of cool. And then finally, here we have Jusant, which again, I'm actually pretty interested in checking out. It looks like it will be a very kind of relaxing game. You're essentially just climbing mountains and figuring out puzzles and how to get up to the mountain. And this is day one coming on October 31st on cloud, console, and PC. If you remember, this was a game that was shown off at the Xbox showcase. And when they did show it off, I first saw it. I'm like, this will be one of those games where you get to sit back and just kind of get lost in the atmosphere. You don't really have to be that into it. Like, some games where you're leading right into the TV. It just kind of seems like that with the music and then just the slower style of gameplay. But something that'll probably be fun to just sit back, relax after a long day and see how far you can get up the mountain. And then there's some other things here that they are adding, like EA Sports UFC 5. The early access trial is starting October 24th. You get those 10-hour trials with all of the EA games that do come out, or a lot of the EA Sports games that do come out. You get that with Game Pass Ultimate, so that's going to be available. And then there are some more ultimate perks, like 75 days of Crunchyroll Mega Fan, which is available starting October 20th, and then Smite Season of Celebration Pack, which is available now. And we got some games leaving. But overall, I would say this is a great list of games. Another awesome announcement from Game Pass in a year that has been phenomenal, and in a couple of months where we got Starfield and then Forza Motorsport, plus some other big games that were launched in those releases, is just finishing off the year very strong. And then, of course, we're going to be waiting and seeing when will be that first Game Pass drop for all of the Activision Blizzard games that will be coming. And speaking about that, we did get some more information. So this is a good summary here from Wakami Games. Phil Spencer was on the Xbox podcast, and he gave us info about ABK games, Call of Duty, all that type of stuff. Nothing that we didn't really know. Everything they've pretty much previously said, other than we now can confirm that no ABK games will be on Game Pass until 2024. So maybe this will be January's big announcement. I feel like they're looking at right now what they have with Xbox Game Pass in 2023, and they're probably sitting there thinking they could ride out the rest of this year. A phenomenal year. There's more games that will be coming out in November and December. And then they can start 2024 off with a huge bang with just a bunch of Activision games. And they'll probably spread them out a bit to try to fill in gaps in 2024 where maybe they don't have a massive game that's going to be releasing, where they don't have a big first party game. This is where you can take this massive catalog of Game Pass titles and IPs and just make sure there isn't really a down moment. There will never be a time where people aren't talking about Game Pass releases. I think with all of the games that they do have, that's probably what they are aiming for. Now, when it comes to Call of Duty, this is something that we knew was happening. This isn't anything new, but Phil Spencer does confirm that the goal is 100% parity for Call of Duty. There will be no exclusive skins or DLC. So instantly, Xbox is making Call of Duty better for the Call of Duty community. There isn't going to be people locked out of things because they aren't playing on the PS5 or they aren't playing on the Xbox. And I think that's great. I'm very happy to see this. I would have not been for them adding exclusive content to Xbox. I would have been against that. So I'm happy that they are actually doing this. I think overall just makes the experience better and makes the game better and is better for everybody who loves who's been a part of the Call of Duty community, playing it every single year since forever, right? For the last 10 plus years or so. Now, he says here, we have no goals of somehow trying to use Call of Duty to get you to buy an Xbox console. I mean, again, they've said that before. You will probably see, though, just naturally, these games dropping into Xbox Game Pass day one, people picking up the Xbox instead of going out and paying full price for the game when they know they can get this game day one, sign up to Xbox Game Pass, and then get access to just a ton of other games as well. And then this next part here is something that is great to see, great to hear. He's talked about this previously, but he reiterates that they do want to go into the back catalog and get old IPs out there and make games from the old IP catalog. He says wants to make sure any old IP they revisit has a passionate team that wants to make a difference, not just for financial gain. Great. I mean, what else could be said? This is awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. I mean, we'll have to see if this is the truth. Obviously, he is saying this now as the deal closes and trying to get people excited for everything. We'll have to see the proof in the pudding when they do go into the back catalog and make games, and they aren't like crazily monetized or anything like that. They just really are these passion projects where smaller teams from these studios maybe want to jump in and work on older IPs from the Activision Blizzard catalog, give us remakes, give us new versions, new titles in the series of these older IPs. I really hope that they do this, because this is not something that we are seeing at all really across the industry. There's tons of remakes, tons of remasters, lots of regurgitation of the same stuff. And they have a huge opportunity here to set themselves apart, specifically from PlayStation, who are continuously putting out the same thing over and over and over again, even if the game hasn't been out for very long. For example, The Last of Us, and then the rumors we're hearing about The Last of Us 2. Xbox really can set themselves apart here by just giving a ton of variety. And they kind of already have been doing that by allowing teams to work on smaller projects. You think about Pentiment, you think about Grounded, you even think about Bleeding Edge, which obviously failed, but they still allowed Ninja Theory to go out and make that game. All of these things are great to see, and I'm happy that Phil Spencer is confirming this going forward. So that was the interview. We have more information, just kind of what to expect. So again, 2024 for the ABK games into Xbox Game Pass. When it comes to Game Pass, we've seen this already for 3 years. This isn't a surprise, but people still love to push the narrative that Game Pass kills sales. It cannibalizes sales so much that no big games will want to put their games into the service. Why would anybody want to do this? And we're seeing another example here as to that narrative just being completely crushed. Lies of P, day one Xbox Game Pass game, has been extremely successful. They have sold 1 million units less than a month after it launched for Xbox and PC. And why is that big? Because they've sold 1 million units while also launching the game into Xbox Game Pass, showing developers and publishers that not only can they get a great deal from Xbox, which would potentially cover a lot of their development and marketing costs to put their game into Xbox Game Pass, and then have that game available to instantly millions and millions of users. But if the game is good, they'll get that deal and then they'll still be able to sell millions of copies of their game and just kind of get revenue from both streams. And it's these are more success examples that I think will give Xbox that bargaining chip when they're going out to third parties and trying to get more games into Xbox Game Pass. So, big thing here, they announced it on their Twitter, and this is what they did put out here. They say, "We would like to express our sincere gratitude to all the citizens of Krat. Thank you to everyone who helped us and accompanied us, and we hope you join in our future journeys as well." So, 1 million copies sold. Again, proves Game Pass is good for developers, helps get games out there. And I'm sure leading to that 1 million copies sold, one of the major reasons is that there was that marketing from it being in the Game Pass servers. There were instantly millions of people that could share out screenshots, share out videos where it would not nearly have been as big if it were not to be in the service. They would have had to just try to sell every single copy, and there would be less people actually talking about it and sharing their gameplay content because they didn't have instant access to it from Xbox Game Pass. And then finally, let's talk about this year. We know acquisitions are coming. They're going to continue to come from Xbox, from PlayStation, from other major companies out there, Tencent, like people that really want to get in there and compete. They're going to continue to try to acquire. We're in a time where the industry is looking at acquisitions because a lot of these publishers and the developers are looking at the costs for creating games and they're thinking, well, we're at the top now. It costs so much to create games. Let's just sell now when people want us because may not be able to sustain putting all this money into developing games in the future. And there's a lot more risk going forward when you're spending hundreds of millions of dollars to develop games. Now, we know PlayStation is going to respond in some way. They're going to try to continue to try to grow their portfolio, try to grow their subscription and improve their cloud streaming, and they'll need content. And this analyst says here that Sony is under pressure to react to Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard. This is from Ampere Analysis Game Research Piers Harding Rolls, speaking with Game Industry, claiming Sony Interactive Entertainment is under pressure following Microsoft completing its deal to acquire gaming giant Activision Blizzard. He expects Sony to react by investing in PlayStation as well as making more acquisitions of its own, including one large enough to move the needle. Specifically, here's what's said. Sony surely is under pressure to react even after their Bungie acquisition. I expect further investments and acquisitions for PlayStation, including a large one that would move the needle for them in a meaningful way. Now, Media Research senior games analyst Carol Severin believes Sony could expand PlayStation beyond what Microsoft is working on, including using Sony's strength in film, TV, and the music industry to offer cross-entertainment subscription, which is kind of something we've already seen. She says here that Sony has one of the most impressive content catalogs on earth. Bringing it together in a subscription offering, for example, could pose a solid competitive answer to Xbox cross-platform efforts. It will be increasingly difficult to compete with Microsoft on games only. The only response for Sony on the games only side would be buying something really big like Take-Two, but that is unlikely. And I definitely see this happening. We've already kind of seen this roll out from Sony when they brought over their Bravia app to PlayStation, kind of branded it more to be in line with PlayStation. We've seen PlayStation have tons of spin-offs with movies and TV shows with their IPs. And I think they will definitely continue to do this and then eventually offer this one large entertainment package to take on Xbox Game Pass. Because I agree with this analyst. I don't think PlayStation has the firepower to compete with Xbox on games anymore going forward with the amount of IPs that Xbox has. And by that, I mean compete in the sense of just having so many first party games coming out all the time, having tons of content continuously influxed into the subscription service from their first party. They're going to have to find something else to be able to compensate. And that I think is going to be the movies and games. And like they say, the music as well, all into one PlayStation package. And kind of think about where Xbox One was trying to go in 2013. I think that somehow was foreshadowing where we are today, but more so on the PlayStation side. PlayStation, I think, is going to change really and try to brand themselves as that just entire entertainment box and system going forward. And I think it will do pretty good. I know back in 2013, people didn't want that, but things are changing. Time is changing. And PlayStation has a ton of great IPs with their movies and TVs that they could add in there that will entice people. But I'm going to end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.